Oh, hey, I can see you guys there. Before we start the show, we just want to tell you guys that we appreciate everything, all the love and support that we get from you guys. And if you do like our content, please like and subscribe, and we'll try to give you guys more content here in the future. And just make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and enjoy the video.
All right, we are back. Season 2, Episode 1 of the Kickin Brass podcast. Got it out that time. That's a good thing. As always, my co-hosts, Big Joe, Johnny Phoenix. Today, our guest from POF, Clint Bennett, Director of Marketing and Sales over there. So, where have we been? Well, we've been off. Things have been a little crazy around the shop here, and with the whole Rona, and as it's all over the news, the gun industry is going crazy. We've been just legendary sales since March, and we really haven't had a second to breathe, let alone get a podcast out. So you know, if you've been watching the news or on the net or anything like that, you see, you know, everybody's talking about, you know, how ammunition is hard to find and guns are hard to find, and those aren't lies. It's in my 17 years, it's never been this bad before. Even after, you know, the Sandy Hooks and the Paris shootings and the San Bernardinos and all that stuff. It's just been crazy. So our last episode, we were talking about the coronavirus, and it was just kind of coming on, and we kind of
we might have
missed the forecast on that one. But hey, you know, things happen. You know, it's
A lot of things happened.
The powers that be planned this virus very well. So, getting into the show, Joe, what's been new with you?
Just been selling ammo. Toilet paper's back in stock. That's pretty much it.
Dude, you had like 2 tons of toilet paper.
Are you a hoarder?
I'm not gonna lie. I had like 2 Costco-sized packs, but that was before everything.
You're worse than any ammo customer in
You're
here.
the reason I was stealing it from McDonald's then.
I was giving them away too. Okay.
Yeah, it's one a day, brother. One a day.
No, just been working, selling guns, and trying to keep up with
Buying
life.
guns?
Buying guns.
Buying guns?
Not as much as you, but just living.
Right.
Getting this new mask thing on my face. A good old.
Well, they call that a beard
Normal.
for most people, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just with the mask, it just looks bad.
It's not the
looks
mask,
bad
bro.
without it.
80 style. 80 style.
I remember
Yeah.
my first beard.
Yeah.
Byron.
We can't get a beard.
Pretty good. It's getting
We get the Asian
can't even
beards.
say
It
it
doesn't
over
connect.
You're
Right?
right. Yeah.
You get that weird
Fu Manchu
spotchy.
or-
No, you get the spotchy thing. It's kind of weird. Yeah.
Johnny, our last episode, you were retired.
Yeah. I was, but
now
I'm no
you
longer.
work like full time plus
Yep.
70 hours a week.
Yeah, love it, man. You know, it's a great industry to be in at this time. Obviously, it's always been my hobby, so it's really not a job. It's more of a passion. You know what I mean? Everything we talk about.
Does that mean I don't have to pay you?
No, that's not true. That's not true because I have to use that money to pay off my layaways. But anyway, no, I mean, I think it's a dream job, you know, for guys that are sitting out there. I talk to people all the time. It's just, man, I can't believe you get to do what you do, right? I was like, it's not really working, man. I mean, interacting with people daily, talking to people with like mind, you know, and selling a good product. You know, obviously, we're not trying to pimp POF too much, but, you know, it's top line product, and people come in looking for things like that. And it's nice to be able to have stuff in stock and be able to say, hey, yeah, man, we do have that rifle, that pistol that they're looking for. And it's been great, man. It's been a great experience, great learning experience, and it kept me out of the the whole conspiracy mode. Sitting at home going, "Wow, they're really screwing the world up." I wonder.
Oh
who's
my God, I
doing
could not even imagine
Right.
the blog
I mean,
posts
you
that
think
was
about
all
it.
throughout this.
Think about what people are doing. Think about why people are buying so many guns and ammo. I mean, a lot of people, when they got quarantined, they went through that period where they're sitting around thinking the world's come to an end, and all the conspiratorial stuff starts flying around. And truth or not, it's what happened. You hear it from customers.
I think there's a legitimate worry here. It's not. I don't think it's stuff that's far fetched that people have cooked up in their brains. I think
you're
there's
1,000% right, man. The reason I think that is because it's the people purchasing guns aren't repeat customers from our previous past. It's people literally that say, I'm afraid of guns, I don't like guns, but now I realize I need a gun. So regardless of what political stance they take, what a person tells you, man, I never thought I'd say this, but I need to buy a gun, right? So there's the worry.
You look at 2020, and I mean, this is interesting because it's one of the most important times in the firearms market. What I mean by that is in 2020 alone, we've got over, I think the latest report I read was 5 million new firearms owners.
Right.
And I mean, that's fantastic because these people are buying stuff, like you said, hey, I want to have a firearm to protect myself and my family and these other things. These are people who traditionally weren't shooters, weren't sport shooters. And now they're going out to shoot their guns so they can be proficient and safe with it. And you know what they're saying? Well, this is a lot of fun.
Right, that's why we don't have any ammo.
So now I bought this handgun and I enjoy shooting this. I'm going to, be adventurous and go out and try to find, maybe a shotgun, maybe an MSR, maybe something completely different. So you're getting all these first-time shooters now, and they're the ones that are driving a lot of this market. And they're buying different things, and they're actually enjoying and understanding, what we love about it, that it's enjoyable, it's fun, it's exciting, and it's, boy, you're hard pressed to find something more addicting than,
they're becoming
than getting into the gun.
Exactly.
People,
Right.
It's just so much fun.
If we all remember first time we fired the guns, and a lot of it is, and getting back to what B was saying, there's a legitimate concern. It's our culture was getting to a point where parents were super anti-gun, or the politics of the world was super anti-gun. And there was never that, hey, Johnny got a BB gun for Christmas, or Susie went out with mom, dad to go out in the woods and go plinking. So a lot of that stuff was going away and was drifting that direction. But I think this coronavirus thing that made everybody feel, for God's sakes, they're talking about, defunding the police. All of a sudden people were like, I don't need a gun. It's like, oh, crap, there's no police, right? And the old saying that, the police will be there to help you. Why do you need a gun? That's a legitimate concern.
I think one of the other things too, just to touch on it, briefly, is nationwide there's always the pros and cons of Second Amendment, and what this influx of first-time buyers has helped us get across in this country is there were a lot of people in certain states that were going in to buy a gun and say, "Well, I'm here to buy a gun. Well, what do you mean I can't take it home today? I have to do this." They were so painfully unaware of the gun rules and regulations that they had actually helped pass that they're second-guessing their decisions of the past. And I think that we will start to see more support from a broader spectrum of the population with regard to Second Amendment rights and individual states' rules and regulations. I really think this year could help change some things in the future for the best.
Yeah, experience is definitely the best education.
Right.
They have to go through it. Everybody's talking about how easy it is to get a gun. I mean, we're constantly, taking every measure possible to ensure that we get a gun out legal, morally, and ethically to the right people, and that we do not allow anybody to play games on us. Because there are people out there that are taking advantage of the situation now. The shop gets busy, and they try to sneak in when they know they shouldn't be in there trying to buy a gun. So
now you're seeing that firsthand, huh?
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to. You've got to be accustomed to seeing it, to recognize it.
And it's something that I've said for years, and we've always kind of taken the approach here that there's no sale, no matter how much money you make on a sale. There's nothing worth.
It's not worth it.
Worth doing it. It's not worth jeopardizing the business, or or anything like that. But I've always said, I turn away as many sales as a lot of stores make. And partially, it's,
that's
just
not too far from the truth. I can tell you from somebody who just worked here for 6 months. We turn away more gun sales in some periods of time during the day than we actually make any sales.
Well, because the other thing too is you think about responsible firearm ownership in the United States. it doesn't just mean at your home. It can be in your place of business, and this is a perfect example of it. Is you guys are proud supporters of the Second Amendment and the rights that we do have to have firearms, and you want to protect that. So
Absolutely.
You're actually our front line in the defense in this country of people avoiding things like straw purchases or illegal purchases. And I don't think that the gun stores in this country get as much credit as they should, because if they were not following those rules and regulations, and above all that, being morally and ethically opposed to some of the stuff that's happening, the situations out there could be exponentially worse. Like, you guys are absolutely the front line, and that you all gun store owners in America should be commended for what they do.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's enough of that that's out there.
Sure.
You know.
Well, profit always drives business, and we just think about it. Even with the price gouging going on with other gun stores, not to mention any names, but with us, we've got the same markup that we always have. Just our distributor costs go up, and that's the only thing that changes. We never changed our markup, and that's a clean statement, because I've only been in the industry for 6 months, so I can see it, and I see it every day. So it's factual that we're not gouging people, and our customers appreciate that. And it's not just the moral and ethical and legal things. It's actually just doing good business to be good business people.
You can't think about the now. You've got to think
Exactly.
about the future. You know, you've got to. There's a lot of even distributor wise. I've a lot of distributors are doing some hokey stuff right now. And you buy this if you want to buy this AR-15. You've got to buy the Kenmore washer and dryer with it too.
Right, yeah, you gotta buy the matching set.
And it's brutal, because it's just driving cost up.
Sure.
And it's a way for a lot of the distributors. That's how they get rid of product that they made mistake in ordering.
Like old inventory.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Right.
So.
And I can say that from a manufacturer's point of view, for us at least, our pricing today in September is exactly the same as it was last October when we published our 2020 price list. I mean, we haven't made any changes to it, because our goal at the end of the day is to be able to provide, a high quality product at a competitive price to our customers out there as quickly as we can and as efficiently as we can.
But your cost had to have gone up in this period.
We did. We've eaten a lot of it, but we're not changing our pricing, because it's not our goal to maximize every penny of profit that we can. We're here for the long haul. And I mean, you guys know Frank DeSomma, our company's founder and creator. Frank never started this business to become a rich guy. He started it out of passion and absolute love for it. So those are the same kind of, internal rules and regulations that we operate by today. Right. And that's never going to change. We don't care about making the quick buck. We care about making a customer for life. And I mean, we're incredibly happy to be, working with you guys, and we have such a great relationship, and that's more than, we're just friends is what it is. And at the end of the day, that's really what you want. And your customers that walk through that door, you guys know a lot of them by name, because they're not just customers, they're friends.
Absolutely.
And that's what matters most.
These guys, they go out shooting with those guys. They go to dinner with those guys. They go have drinks after work with those guys.
They have too much time off.
Yeah. No, but it's about having a personable relationship with your clientele. That's the way it should be. One thing I did want to say is during this whole conversation, when you were talking about furthering the Second Amendment, and it's something I always try to bring up is that we got to start with the youth of this country. Right. Because the youth in this country right now are in a position where they are being force-fed guns are bad. Yep. And to an extent, you have to kind of lean a little bit that way, because you want the safety aspect there. You don't want kids out, playing with guns and stuff like that. But there's a lack of education for respect on the gun. You've seen the news articles where little Johnny was doing his homework on Skype, and the teacher saw a BB gun hanging on the wall in back of him, and he gets suspended from school, and she calls the cops, and mom and dad get in trouble because he's got a daisy hidden on the wall. And it's it's going a little bit. I mean, I can understand where educators and administrators are nervous because of what's happened, which miraculously we haven't seen any of that
Right.
in the last
Well-
while. I mean, granted, because the kids haven't been in school,
Right.
but I mean, there hasn't mass shootings as a whole haven't really.
Well, let me ask you this real quick too. We're on the topic. You can't graduate high school unless you've taken health and safety classes. Right. So why in the world would we be letting our elementary students graduate or promote from 6th grade on without having a general safety course? And I mean, we live in Arizona, so we're a little different. Like, those children need to know about water safety, fire safety, what to do if there's a fire, firearm safety, what to do. Like, why aren't we focusing our energy and efforts into things that protect what everybody says is our future, our children? Why aren't we teaching this in schools? Take the politics out of it and actually start to care about protecting and providing our nation's youth with a strong set of understanding of what's safe, what's not safe. It's not, and that needs to be done. And until somebody actually makes the stand to fight for that, and back to your statement that you made about the kid being homeschooled against his will, online against his will, through via multiple sources that are the most hacked sources out there on the internet, by the way. And now, on top of all of that, the school systems get to depict what you're allowed to have in the background as your image.
As in your own home.
Right. So, with regard to that, I mean, there's the breakdown. There's the problem.
Well, that's
they
what
want
we
to
talk-
push an agenda and they want to say what they feel is right, but when it comes to protecting our children, let's not even touch on the subject that we're not educating them properly on the schoolwork they have to do right now. Let's not get into what our educational system is in this country. But when we can't talk to students about, hey, what do you do if you find a firearm? And guess what? Another one. What do you do if you find prescription pills on the ground?
Right.
Literally. Like, why aren't we talking about this stuff, and why isn't it mandatory that our kids are taught about this before promoting on to the next grades?
Well,
This
that's
is
not
something
really.
that should be done.
Yeah, it's a fear-mongering society. Is what it comes down to. We're not concerned about the solution to a problem. When we completely ignore the problem and the solution, it just becomes theater. With our
Well-
politicians, with the way.
Okay, there are
everything
no
works.
votes in protection. There are votes in panic.
There you go.
So
Exactly.
if you don't teach children at a young age what to look out for and what to be, or what, there's nothing that sells a vote better than a child that's injured by one of these 20 topics.
Well, and also
we're
if,
talking
if they don't have a problem, they don't have a platform to campaign on. It's as
Right.
long as there's a problem, they've always got something.
It's clockwork. Every 2 years, there's going to be a new social justice warrior in some election somewhere, and that's what it is.
Right. Well, that's like I said. That's why I stay away from the the conspiratorial stuff. And just like, hey, man, my thoughts. I've stayed off my blog a lot. I've run a blog that's highly, political. It's extremely conservative and extremely pro Second Amendment. I've let thanks Pogo, by the way, one of my guys, go ahead and run the blog for me, because during these times when it's really stressful and I can see some of just the blatant, obvious issues out there. If I start jumping into that, I'll just lose myself into the politics of it instead of just doing what I can to make this a better environment for us. Just promoting guns from a positive standpoint, selling guns, giving good advice to customers, educating people on firearms rights. That's a more positive outlook than sitting there and just punching fingers at saying, "Hey, look how screwed we're getting."
I think you said that. I think you said a key word there that just kind of went off in my head. You said you do what you can, and that used to be what made America so great. Is everybody would come together to do what they could with one goal, which was obviously to bring America closer, make it better, do as much as we can, because everybody would do whatever they could. And now people only do what they want. And that is the problem. And if the want doesn't line up with the greater good for everybody, then people suffer.
Absolutely. You see it happening, I mean, you take a look at a state like California. I mean, that if there's an epitome of do what you want, California is running rampant. I mean, the state burns down every year because they don't do anything about their forestry service. You've got people, defecating in downtown San Francisco, urinating on anywhere, picking whatever they want to identify as. I mean, just gone completely rampant.
I gotta say this. Did you see that a dude dropped a deuce on Nancy Pelosi's driveway the other day.
No, that's awesome. though.
It's awesome.
That might have been a political statement.
But hey, they allow it.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
right?
It's legal.
Yeah. So there's the primary, the definition of doing what you want. California's gone off the deep end. I mean, literally, it's a communist state. I'm concerned about the citizens of California not waking up to saying, "Holy cow, man!" It says right there, they're saying that magazines, bans on high capacity magazines or standard capacity magazines, is anti-constitutional. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and appeal it. So it's already been declared as anti-constitutional, and yet they're enforcing the ban.
I think, though, that a lot of people in free states like Arizona, I think one thing that we do miss in this state is the bigger understanding of California's market. So you have a state with approximately 40 million people in it. Believe it or not, they're still buying off roster, which are guns from 2008. Okay, it's still the single biggest firearms market in the United States. So the difference is they feel that if they can push through any law and make it take and stick in that state, they can spread that across the country. So they will put everything they have into trying to defend what little bit of reach they have gotten. But here's the thing now. The 5 million new firearms owners we were talking about, the majority of those are coming from states like California. Yeah. And when they walk into a gun store and buy a gun and say, wait a minute, what the hell do you mean I can't take this home today? Well, there's a 10-day wait list. Why? And they find out about it. They're like, we didn't understand that. I've even heard stories of people going in saying, I'm here to buy a machine gun. And people say, what are you talking about? Well, I'm here to buy a machine gun. I hear about these machine guns that you can buy.
Yeah.
Well, right, yeah. You can't buy those. Here's what it is. It's just because they passed the laws with no educational understanding of what they were passing. And now that those people see it 15, 20 years later, that is really going to be what helps repeal a lot of this stuff. Because if California loses the foothold that they thought they had gained on political standings with regard to the Second Amendment, it's just going to crumble nationwide. It's just going to go from there. That's the only foothold they had. So that will start to go away. And I really hope that the unfortunate, coronavirus itself and this panic buy that we saw helps. I think that's going to be the best thing we can get out of this. That's the silver lining, I guess. That's what I'm saying.
That's pretty optimistic. I'm hoping you're right.
Yeah, because you've got it coming from the east now too.
Right.
Though.
Right.
And
New York may not be the market California is, but it's the same nuttiness that's happening there, if not on steroids. I mean, California does
Virginia,
have, like you said,
Maryland.
Yeah. And
you know the worst thing?
Huh?
There are so many great people that live in all these states that
That's
people
what it
talk
is,
about
man.
that are true believers and are conservative Americans and believe in stuff. And they're there because they say, well, I can't do my job in a different state. I have too much family here. I can't move away from it. And it is. And people always talk about people who are trapped in places and can't get out. Well, you don't have to fly over a Pacific or an Atlantic Ocean to find that. You can look a couple of hours west and find it. I mean, it's here. There are people that are literally trapped where they are and can't leave to gain the freedoms that they should have. Starting from age one, I mean, like that's there. It's theirs, and they just can't get it.
We get a lot of conservatives fleeing California. We see them in here in the shop. Yeah, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I can actually get in here, buy a gun, just do a simple background check, and be done with my day. Yeah.
Next time, get involved when they try to take your.
So, this episode actually started in June. We'd originally planned to meet Frank at the range on a Saturday morning, and tragically he passed away on Thursday evening on the way home from work. I know a lot of things have probably changed where you're at. What's the state of POF right now?
Obviously that was June 18th was a terrible day. I mean, we didn't just lose an amazing patriot and an American and somebody who was almost to a fault outspoken against anybody that mean to oppress anybody with regards to things he was passionate about. I mean, this man started an amazing company that builds an amazing product that's ran and has some of the most amazing employees you could ever imagine. I mean, at POF, you know, for as big as we are of a company, we're still small because we're just a family there, you know. And when something tragic happens in any family, you find ways to come together and to help each other through it. Literally every day after that was, you know, something new that we had to deal with that none of us understood and weren't prepared to deal with. There are certain people that you meet in your lifetime that can't be replaced. So there is no filling those shoes. So what you have to do is find ways to just continue to move on. So what we, as a family, did was, you know, we made sure that going forward, his dreams, his legacy, all the things he wanted to do, are going to get done. And we're closer together now because we have one real unified vision on what we want to do. And so, I mean, everybody in the POF family has come together so close since that tragedy, and things are fantastic. Like, we have such purpose and such drive and ambition to do things. You know, it's actually a really unique and really enjoyable time, albeit a tragic time, but there's so much celebration because we know everything that we're doing is for him and in memory of Frank. So it's, like I said, it still hurts and it still sucks, but we're really excited about what we're able to do to honor him moving forward, you know.
So structurally, you've obviously made some changes or whatever, but everything is in line, all full function.
Right, yeah. So, you know, previously Frank was the president of the company, and his such an amazing family. I mean, in general, they're just all great people. Tracy was always the vice president. That's his wife. Tracy is now the president, and his son Cody, who has been working in the company since he was 14. This guy's forgotten more about guns than most people will ever learn. He's fired more rounds than probably anybody I could ever even imagine or guess of, you know, and he is doing such an amazing job. Tracy's doing an amazing job because they came together with, like I said, the rest of the POF family, and we all had one vision, and it was to do everything Frank wanted to do, no matter how big or small. And I mean, it's just, they're doing a fantastic job. Everybody in the company is. I'm just happy to be a part of it, to see what the guys and gals we have there in the front end of the business and in the back can do. It is amazing to see what they're accomplishing. Like, there is not a better team in, you know, MSR manufacturers out there than our team. And I don't say that because I'm part of it and I'm proud of them, but I know you put our people up against anybody else's head to head, we will whoop their asses all day long. I mean, our people are just great because they show up to work with passion and drive, and that's how they perform their work. They're not there for a paycheck. They're there because they're part of a family, and we want to do something big, and we want to do something amazing, especially to honor Frank. So, like, it's just a fantastic time to be in this, despite the tragedy. You know?
Cool. It's good to hear because, you know, anytime you lose a leader like that or
Right.
CEO of the company,
Mm-hmm.
there's always fears, and you know, a lot of customers they ask us all the time, "Hey, man, how's the company? Are they going to be okay?" It's just good to have you speak out on it and just give everybody reassurance that everything's good to go.
You guys are still pushing product too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're pushing out more than we ever have.
Yeah.
I mean, all of our numbers are up, and you know, and to the loyal POF fans out there, you know, we apologize for the wait. We're doing everything we can to get as much out there as quickly as we can without sacrificing any sort of quality or anything like that. So, you know, that's first and foremost in our mind. But no, business has never been better. We're growing and expanding. We're expanding the product line a lot, and that's kind of some stuff we can talk about in, you know, here in a couple minutes, I guess. There's just lots of neat things going on, and definitely keep your eye on POF. You know, we grew a lot in 2020, and we had a huge product launch this year, launched 4 new products. And there's some pretty, no pun intended, but revolutionary stuff coming out next year. You know, I mean, there's some neat stuff going on.
Right.
One thing I will say, when I was there last week, the activity level in the factory, when we walked through the factory, the activity level was outstanding. I mean, it was like and I've been at the factory multiple times, and the activity level there was awesome. I mean, everything was moving. There were people doing things, you know, putting new machines in.
Right. Yeah, we doubled the size of our machine shop. We doubled the size of our machine shop. I mean,
I don't know if anybody realizes how big that is, but
right.
When you double machinery, man, that's a lot. That's a lot of investment. That's a lot of
it is, and we're doing everything we can to keep up with our consumers, requests. And I mean, we're doing everything we can. We want to help out everybody we humanly possibly can. So that's our goal and our drive too.
Cool.
So you mentioned about the 4 new lines you launched this year.
Right.
You had the Rogue, the Rebel,
Minuteman, and the P19.
Minuteman, and the P19.
Right.
Okay. The P19 you are no longer manufacturing, correct?
We're just kind of in a holding pattern right now with that. There's a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Obviously, POF is known for our MSRs. And that's what, the overwhelming majority is. So we're trying to just focus on that stuff and get as many of those built out to the customers.
And anybody who's not familiar with the terminology, MSR is modern sporting rifle.
Right, yeah, I apologize. AR-15s. MSR is
right.
the current vernacular we're using for that.
So the Rogue and the Rebel and the Minuteman.
Right.
Have they exceeded, met?
Every one of them, even prior to March, when things really kind of took off, all 3 of those models far exceeded what we thought they would do. I mean, the Minuteman is the #1 selling product of ours right now. As you take a look at the Minuteman, and when we put that gun together, what we did is we looked at the market and said, okay, what is there in the medium to high end of the MSR market? And we looked out there and found, what we thought to be our closest competitor. I don't know if I can say names or models or anything like that, but
shoot,
it was.
We ain't scared.
It was the you look at it, it was the Daniel Defense, the DDM4 V7, and that is a really good-looking $1,700 MSRP gun. But if you start to look at it, you're getting a $1,700 95% mil spec gun, right? So you've got some neat colors, some neat plastics on it. And we said, you know what, it's a great gun, and they're really good looking, really sharp. It's a nice gun. It's the most popular MSR in that price range in the market. We said, geez, what would we do, if we wanted to go after that market? So what we did was we made the Minuteman. So I mean, you look at the Minuteman, starting from the muzzle, you've got a 3-prong flash hider. You've got the oversized heat sink barrel nut that helps eliminate up to 70% of that felt heat on the rail. Amazing. Inside, you've got our E-squared extraction. I mean, that's an amazing process. You can watch the videos on our website. It's just a dual extraction technology, patented by POF, same as the oversized heatsink barrel nut. You look at the bolt. We have our patented roller cam pin in there. Anytime you pick up a POF rifle and you go to rack it, you can feel and hear the difference. It's so smooth. It's so clean. And that's that roller cam pin running in that upper rail, in the rail of your upper. But below that, you have a 3.5-pound flat trigger that comes stock in that gun. Cassette trigger with the KNS anti-walk pins. You have QD end plates. You have our Strike Eagle charging handle. What you have is a gun that has almost $400 in accessories in it, but has an MSRP of $1,409. So you're finding a gun that's $300 less and has $300 more for the product in it. Right. That's your best off-the-shelf, almost fully decked out gun you can find. So, we're really excited about that one. We do it in a pistol and a carbine. We do it in black and tungsten. We're going to do some different colors next year with it, expand that product line a little bit more. Right. But that thing is just fantastic. And then, you get into the Rebels and the Rogues. I don't know what you want to talk about next, but
let's go with the Rogue.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, we actually shot the Rogue, was it last week? Or?
Yeah, last Wednesday. Okay. Yeah.
Took us a while to go out there and shoot because John pointed us in the wrong direction. And we
Fire restrictions, man.
Right.
Went more north than west. Yeah. But anyways, we went to go shoot it, and actually we had a blast out there, man. We were shooting that 308 like it was, like it was a 5.56.
Man, I'm telling you. Okay, so when I shot the Revolution, I thought that was a cool gun, and this one's even lighter, man.
Right.
Yeah, it felt literally like an AR pistol I was literally going out there dreading it because I was like, this thing's gonna thump, right?
Right.
Because I had PTR 91s, all those clones and Galils and stuff, and those things they're heavy as hell, and they still hurt, right? They were thumped. They're good, heavy thumping guns, and I thought I was gonna how bad is this gonna be, right?
Right.
And we're wearing T-shirts, man. We're like it's hot out there.
Yeah.
So Joe's like, man, I'll go first, and Joe started. He did a mag dump on it. Yeah.
I shot it first,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh man, might as well.
And it's incredible, man. I mean, we were staying. We were just using iron sights. We didn't even zero, man. We just threw some mag
Right.
poles on there, and we're shooting about 30 yards out, a little metal target, and we're pinging that thing. And the follow-ups, I did double taps on the follow-ups. Incredible, right?
Do you know why that gun shoots that way? Because that's one of the questions we get when people say, wait a minute, you guys have a 16-inch carbine chambered in 308 that weighs 5.9 pounds. Right. Yeah, that's a. This is the best part. We get to say that's a couple of pounds lighter than our competitors.
Yeah. And it's
I
not,
don't mean ounces. It's a couple
couple
of
pounds,
pounds.
right?
And one of the things is that people seem to forget, and it probably frustrates me the most, and it's kind of a thing I laugh about, is people say, oh, you guys make a great AR-10. No, it's not an AR-10.
AR-15.
It's an AR-15 that we have,
Chambered
through
in
POF engineering and ingenuity, found a way to chamber the 308.
And
So-
you know, if you, I don't mean to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but just from the end user standpoint, when you pick it up, if I close my eyes, I wouldn't even know it's
You would
308.
not, no.
Yeah,
If
you
I
can see
if
the
I
mag.
didn't go to the mag
Right.
well and feel the difference in size of the mag well, I wouldn't know if it's freaking 308.
well, because an interesting thing, you
it
can
feels
take
like an AR-15.
you can take the Rogue apart, upper and lower, and the takedown pins line up with any of your mil-spec 223s.
Wow.
It's the same size. What we
Right.
did was we expanded the magazine well into the trigger guard. We shifted the trigger guard back a little bit. And if you notice at the back where our grip angle comes up, you always have that end plate there. What we had to do is shift the grip back just a little bit. So it also, by the way, the Rogue and the Revolution use a 223 bolt carrier.
you guys just beefed it up.
Right. So one of the problems that you see with an AR-10 and in other 308s is they run this really long bolt carrier group like this. So what happens is you've got this very long, very heavy bolt carrier group. As the round goes off and it sends that back into the buffer tube, it dead ends. So that spring is not just absorbing the whole thing, it's coming back and it's hitting. So what happens now is we have a very small BCG. So what happens is we're able to utilize more of that stroke in there. And that's why the Rogue and the Revolution shoot so flat and so clean. And the more you shoot it, you start to get a couple of magazines in it, you don't feel that real difference between that and your standard 223. So this thing's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean,
That's what I
great.
thought, man. Well, I was sitting there shooting. Like I said, I figured like if you were doing single shots and you're taking your time doing it, that you could still be accurate with it.
Right.
Because you wouldn't have the muzzle flip and what have you. But I just I told Joe to do it. Joe says, I'm going to do the mag down. So I want to double tap and see if I can keep it on target. And it's ping, 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 ping.
Right.
Yeah, it was going just, it exceeded my expectations. Because I thought for sure the Revolution was going to be my gun, right? Now I'm rethinking, I don't mind DI.
Right, yeah. Well, and that was the other thing is we have the Revolution, which is fully loaded. I mean, there's nothing that gun doesn't have on it. So with the Rogue, what we were trying to do was bring the weight down and also bring the cost down. Because we understand not every consumer wants the upgraded charging handle or an adjustable gas block or this, that, and the other. And the Rogue gives you the ability to upgrade that as you choose. The one thing we did put in all Rogues is the 4.5-pound single stage trigger. Because that was one thing Frank really wanted. Out of the box, this thing has to have a great trigger. So he put that in there. But you can choose any charging handle you want. If you're going to shoot it suppressed, you might want to go to the 9-position dictator gas block, but that's something you can add at your leisure, and you're not paying this big, chunk up front. You can add to this as you go, and that's really another nice thing.
Yeah. The only thing that sucks about it is 308 cost of ammo. Because we wanted to run more rounds.
Right, and things have changed dramatically
Right.
the last 7 months. We understand that. We hope that those go back down again.
That gun, usually you get your bang out of buck for 308 because they are a heavy hitting round, so you don't shoot it as much. Right. But with that gun, dude, I could burn out 500 308
easy.
rounds
Yeah.
like nothing. Right.
That was Frank's thing too. Frank's a gearhead. It's all about horsepower.
Right.
So he loves that 308 cartridge because it's a big, heavy round. And that's. That was a big thing for him. So, the 308 round is here to stay with POF, obviously.
It definitely, it'll burn through your pockets, man. Because that thing is fun to shoot. Beyond anything else,
It really
it's
was.
fun to shoot.
We said the right thing. So you're right. It's an amazing gun. Shoots great. Shoots flat. Your
it's
time
not
to get back on
expensive.
target is easy. Not expensive. But for overall just taking it out and shooting, it is expensive. Which leads me into the next thing. That's why the third product we launched this year was the Rebel.
Mm-hmm. We shot that too.
Once we got done with the 308 ammo, the expensive ammo.
Right.
Yeah, we
right to the
burned
cheap
through some.
ammo.
Yeah, that was good. That is a cool gun because I like the takedown on it. You know, it just mimics what you're accustomed to, and the manual arms is the same. You know, and it does. I mean, dude, it just looks cool, right? I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the 22s. I have a bunch of Ruger 1022s and other 22 rifles, and the Rebel looks the coolest. Right, it's a nice compact package. Even the fake can looks good on it because you can get poor execution on a fake can.
So what do we
on
know
22.
about that? What do we know about that device at the end? It's actually called the EPD, and that stands for Enhanced Pressure Device. And the reason for that is because with the Rebel being designed the way it is, we told everybody for the first 300 rounds, shoot high velocity or hyper velocity ammo through this. Now let's just clarify that statement real quick. Okay, that's 1,400 feet per second or faster. So people say, I am. Well, no, it's 1,200 feet per second. You have to really get to that difference. So what happens is when you have an 8-inch barrel on a 22 that's a gas blowback system, there's very little blowback in a 22, right? And you're losing a lot of that pressure. So what we did after we launched it, we came up with the enhanced pressure device. So by putting that enhanced pressure device on there, it builds up a significant amount of back pressure, which allows the gun to cycle and run smoother, and over time even allows you to run lower velocity, lower cost ammunition. Right. So that was the reasoning before that. And a lot of people say that, it's a faux can or it's a fake suppressor.
I didn't know
It's
that.
actually not. It's an enhanced pressure device.
We
And
didn't
that's there
look into it.
specifically. Right.
Thanks for bringing that up.
But that's one of those things, yeah.
Right.
Because
we shot another gun along with it that that Joe will gladly talk
We
about.
originally, because we sell both the Rebel and the Chris Vector 22 here at the store, we were going to do a Vector versus Rebel.
that is a neat looking
Shootout.
gun.
That was supposed
Yeah.
to be the initial video. Byron's like, yeah, let's just do that versus the Chris Vector. I mean, you guys both came out around the same time.
Right, both launched
This
at
year-
SHOT Show.
SHOT Show was all about 22s this year. That's what
Right.
it seemed like. So we did grab both. We took them out. John, how many rounds you have? One, two,
I
two or
got
three?
through like 2, dude. I got through 2 rounds, man.
As soon
Yeah,
as
my first thought was, dang, I didn't load the high capacity magazine or their 30 round mag right, or I did something wrong to it. So I kept yanking out and looking down and saying, man, did I do this wrong or what? Did I put it in wrong? I was like, here, Joe, just take over, bro, because I only got 2 shots off before it double fed, right? So Joe takes over. He gets 3 shots off, and he gets a round lodged in the barrel.
From a manufacturer's point of view, it's Murphy's Law. Like the Chris Vector 22, that is a really, really great looking little gun. And I'm a fan of it too. I like it. Remember, at the end of the day, I'm a firearms enthusiast. I love everybody's stuff, But it's, like I said, it's Murphy's Law. And the majority of the time when there's a problem with a firearm, if it's not something that's clear, that you can see, it's normally that organic blob behind the trigger.
Yeah,
Right.
that's us, right?
Most of the problems
That's the first thing I thought.
stem
That's why I gave him the
from
gun, right?
the organic blob behind the trigger. And that's the human error
Right.
element of it.
operator
Yep.
error.
And the
Yep.
other thing is we're all gun guys, right?
Right.
You can tell me something about a gun, and if I don't think it sounds right,
Right.
I'm not going to do that,
Yeah.
right? Because we're too proud, right? We're like, I'm not going to do that. But it really is, and I mean, like that is truly like the funniest thing is you can write it 100 times on a piece of paper, you can shout it from the rooftops,
Right.
but until you actually show someone what you're talking about and they accept it, and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You just got to get rid of that organic blob every once in a
Joe
while.
was pissed. Joe's super pissed because we're running short on time, right? And we're trying to wrap up 3 videos, and one of them was a head-to-head, and we couldn't get the head-to-head going. There was gnats flying all around
Oh,
us.
yeah. Damn
So
it.
we got really hacked. So I mean, to be fair, right? We did not strip that gun down. We ran it straight out of the box, but we ran the
Well,
Rebel
same
out of the
thing, we
box
ran
too.
the Rebel the same
Yeah.
way, right out of the box.
You got to do apples to apples.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, you
Yeah.
want to do it. You don't want to prep them.
The reason why
Right.
we do that is we do that because that's what most people do.
Right.
They take a gun, they don't do crap to it, they take it out and they shoot it.
You know what cracks me up is we get a lot of those phone calls and questions over the years. Well, I bought this and I was excited and I took it right to the range and I had this, and this happen. And the first question is, before you shot it,
What did you do?
did you take it apart? Did you check to see it was lubed? Did you take a look at this, that, and the other? And here's the funny thing is I've been in this industry a long time, and I've seen situations where there's been things like pencils broken off in a barrel because it was on the showroom floor and somebody stuck a pencil in there and it broke. Like, be smart about it. Step one of being a firearms owner is being responsible. Right. So really look at your guns, take it apart. Right. The other thing is when you go to buy a car and you buy it off the showroom floor, they have that thing so polished, there's not a speck of grease, dirt, anything on it, right? Well, we do the same thing in a gun shop most of the time. So what happens? That brand new firearm that was once properly lubricated has been rubbed down so many times to make it look good, you've rubbed off all the lube. So look at it first. Look at it. Make sure there's enough lubrication in the right areas. And if not, lube it up properly before you go out and break it in, you know. And the other thing is people say, well, you don't need to break in a gun like this and this. Well, our barrels don't require break-in. You know what does require break-in? The buffer tube spring, the bolt carrier group, the bolt, the trigger assembly. You want to get that gun going and moving. It's just like anything. You have to break it in properly. And if the gun is really dry out of the box, that's going to impede your ability to do that. So always start with a basic safety check before you do it, you know? And that's just one of the easiest things you can do. But once again, like I said 5 minutes ago, we're all guys. There's too much machismo, right? It's like, yeah, I looked at the damn thing. It's lubed up. It's like, no, you didn't. Just suck it up. Go out there and do this. You know, and you find every time it's like, oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, other guns work though. That's the thing that ticked me off. It's like, yeah, we did that. We do that with Glocks. We do a lot of, I mean, just literally every gun. And I mean, literally, it's just out of matter of curiosity. See if they get because that's what a guy that buys a gun. No matter what we tell him, right? When we leave, start, hey, make sure you get home, man. Go ahead, do a YouTube video. You know, quick strip down on it, put some lube in there, and get it going. Yeah, I'll do that. And then the next day, we're at the range. I went straight from the shop straight to the range and shot it. No problems. We had problems. You know,
what did we learn?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll say that from the looks, from the aesthetic standpoint, I like the shorter pistol. You know, the platform. You know, there's not. Like I said, I don't think we gave Chris Vector a fair chance. We were just ticked off that day, bro.
Yeah.
It'd be a fun one, and I would, you know, as the manufacturer, obviously, I would enjoy to see that myself. And I think it'd be another neat one to maybe go out there and do what we preach to customers. Maybe go through them both and make sure they're properly lubricated and ready to go out there. Like, if you're going to put them in a competition, make sure they're ready to go, right?
We
and
actually
really
said that. We said, I don't know if you ran that on the video, but I said, you know, we really need to do a reshoot on that because we were out of time. You know.
But with the Rebel, what you see on that is, you know, when we were designing that, we took, okay, what's the most widely used 22 magazine?
Yeah, Ruger 1022.
That's what I love about it.
And we wanted that really neat. You talk to shooters and they're like, I'd love to have a really cool looking subgun that's chambered in 22 so it's cheap to shoot. Bingo. That's exactly what we did. So what we did with the Rebel, you know, we used one of the things that makes it look so neat is that one piece extruded upper. Mm-hmm. You know, so you've got this solid monolithic piece of aluminum that we counterbored out and just made look amazing. It still has all of your M-LOK capabilities to it. And it looks really, really good. But to reduce weight, we went with an injection molded lower on it while still maintaining all the traditional AR-15 or MSR fire controls and components. And then we put a really cool, which was new at the time, the MFT minimalist blade brace on it. So you just had this really nasty, pissed off looking little 22 that's fun for everybody to shoot. And then with the introduction of the EFP later, the EPD, the enhanced pressure device, now it looks like a really cool little pissed off suppressed subgun. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's super light. You know, it's
3.25 pounds.
You know, I mean, that's the thing about all your firearms, man. It's just you don't really think about it until you pick it up, right? And it feels at first you're like, what the, you know, it feels like a BB gun, yeah. And then you start thumping on it. It's fun, yeah.
John didn't bring a Allen wrench or anything, so we had to shoot the blade all
just
up.
Yeah, I was all hunched up.
I'm like a big guy, so I'm like, it was cool though.
Yeah, it was bad. We weren't prepared that day, man. We could have done a better job.
It was fun though. I had fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the good thing is
more than John did.
You guys gave it a dry
mag
run,
after mag.
So now when you guys go out to do another head-to-head video, like that's gonna be a good one because now you guys are ready. The guns are ready. They know what's happening.
Well, see, we had the rifle versus the pistol. We didn't have the Chris Vector pistol in stock, so we took the rifle out. So I didn't think that was even a fair comparison.
But I would like to see that. I hope
a lot
you
of
guys
good feedback
revisit
on the Rebels, though. I mean, we sold a crap load of
them. We have sold a crap load. I just sold one today. As a matter of fact, the guy walked in and actually I didn't sell it. The guy came in and said, "I want that gun," and just pull it out. Let me take a look at it real quick, and I'll
Right.
take it.
That's it.
I'll
take it.
Yeah, it makes it easy on us. When
We
you put
like
out a
hearing
good
that.
product.
We
Yeah.
want to. We love developing products that are so neat that they kind of sell themselves, or the consumers go to their local gun store of choice and say, "Hey, there's the old saying, ask for it by name," and that's kind of what everybody wants with their products. And we're excited when we hear that that's happening.
What's good is the POF fanboys they're hardcore.
Right.
Yeah.
Super hardcore.
Oh, they're super dedicated.
Yeah.
They are.
POF fans, man, they know, every single spec on every single gun. They're asking for a specific model. They're kind of almost like no bullshitters. Like some people just sit around and talk to you about guns and stuff.
Right.
The guys just walk in, hey, listen, I want this. Do you have this model, this color? And they're in and out. They already know what they want.
Right.
So we're not really having to
I'm
sell
pretty sure
it.
they're calling you guys all day long too.
Yeah.
You guys
Hey, when do you have that out?
Right. We do get
Spoke to
a.
POF. You guys got those there, right?
Right, yeah. There's the other one.
we got
is
that one.
We talked to the factory and they told us. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we do and sometimes we don't.
Next time, just forward the call to Clint, man.
Nope, let's not do that.
Got a cell number.
No, we're not gonna be doing that.
Yes,
Let
sir.
me post that right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's show that video.
And roll into the video.
Failures defeat on the Rebel. Overall, it shoots nice. I mean, if John would have brought the tool out, I could have extended this out so I didn't look like a big old bear hugging a little stick. But other than that, it's very accurate. It's a nice little plinker.
I mean, to be fair, we pull these things straight out of the box.
Yeah, straight out of the box. We don't take them down. We don't oil them.
Yeah.
We literally just get them right out of the box and we take them out here and shoot it.
We're using the Aguila HP ammo with, or high velocity
High
ammo.
velocity Aguila.
Uh-huh.
These are copper plated bullets. Experience.
Like I said earlier, we take these guns completely out of the box, bone dry, and just run them because I think that's what most consumers do, people that get into shooting. Obviously, the recommended factory suggestions are to go ahead and strip the gun down, lube it up, make it sure it's ready to go. But most people don't do that, so we try to emulate what people do when they buy a gun. We didn't do it, and we experienced just a lot of double feeds, and we got some failures to feed and double feeds. Extraction was not an issue. When it fired well. So I think this might be the problem that we have is we don't have a whole bunch of ammo to choose from. So we shoot what we can, and all we have was the Aguila, and then we used the BX-25 mags from Ruger. So it seems like we've got pretty decent ammo and pretty much the top mag in the industry for the 1022. So if there's any issues at all, we'll probably do another round of testing after this. But so far, what it was running well. It's very accurate, it's light, it's a cool looking gun. I just don't think we've given it a fair shot because we got bad ammo.
Backed up.
Nice.
Rogue 308. Like an AR-15 platform, but a little beefed up to the 308 spec. I'm very impressed with it. POF did a pretty good job on, being innovative and creating something with a lot of power, but not a lot of recoil. So
I agree, man. What'd you think of that trigger?
the trigger's actually nice.
Yeah.
Easy pull, shorter reset. I'm very, very pleased with this gun.
I think it's a great gun, man. Probably something I want to add to my collection for sure. It's super light, number one. Very comfortable in the hand, easy to handle. The forearm's really thin, so you get your hand around it, control it really well. Like Joe said, for 308, I've shot a lot of 308s through the years, and I was expecting, just like I was expecting with Revolution, to get thumped by this gun, and it didn't beat me up at all. You know, I shot a lot of other guns that are heavier, and they felt like they had more felt recoil than this particular gun did. It's a great gun for light. If you want a light 308 that doesn't kick like a mule, this is the gun for you. I think it's awesome.
All right, guys, that wraps it up. I'm Big Joe, Johnny Phoenix, and we're out.
All right, so pretty good stuff there, man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, fun.
So, Clint, future projects, what's coming up? Give us the inside scoop.
So there's a lot of big stuff coming up next year. With the way the market is right now and everybody being so backlogged, and SHOT Show is actually fast approaching. What we're probably going to do next year is release a couple of more enhanced models at SHOT Show, and then, do our biggest product launches maybe between SHOT Show and NRA next year. But I can say that we have some groundbreaking, revolutionary products that are coming out next year. Stuff we've never done before, actually stuff nobody in the industry's ever done before. So typical POF fashion, we got to do things that nobody's done before. So what do you already know? They're going to look kick-ass. They're going to be lightweight. And they're just going to be super cool, and they're going to run, without getting into it too much, because engineers and all those uptight people back at the factory throw a fit when I start leaking too many secrets, those guys. But I mean,
So that
the
stuff
good
you
thing
told us
is-
about the 50 cal barrack?
right? Yeah, no, we're not going to do anything with the 50 cal. But the good thing about those engineers is, like, they're not here.
All right, well, it is that time. It is Minuteman time.
All right, man. Usually during this segment, man, I bring up some really issues are happening in today's society. And, man, I've just gotten to the point where I think we've drummed and we just drummed it to death. I think today the most important thing we can do as Americans is just to stay calm, right? I mean, there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff going outside. Stuff that happened in Wisconsin, where I think there were good intents.
Stuff that happened here yesterday.
Yeah, stuff that happened here yesterday. The best preparation that we can have is just stay away from trouble, especially with the elections coming up. There's going to be a lot of weird stuff happening outside in society. Just because we're prepared, a lot of our viewers, they're all prepped and they're all ready. Doesn't mean we have to, go inviting trouble or go looking for trouble. Do the best. The strongest people are the people that refrain from action. There's really no need. Although, philosophically, I can't disagree with what that young man did in Wisconsin. He's going out to a neighboring city to try to protect the interests of business owners from a town being looted. I mean, to me, back in the day, you would think during the pioneer times, that's what you did. You go from town to town to protect other people, but now you got words like vigilante, and you've got words like, militias, all kinds of negative connotations. I think it's best that we take care of our own selves first, man. Start looking at the home first. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Take care of your friends, your neighbors, and try to keep a calm atmosphere. And if things are going to happen, they're going to happen. If the time comes when anything has to happen, you know what you have to do. Those are different, but I think. Especially, like I said, with the elections coming up, just stay calm, man, and keep a level head. Do the very best you can to protect yourself and your family, be safe, and stay away from areas where, where the theater of the world is going to happen. There's going to be theatrics. There's going to be, these, and I know we all want to say, hey, that's BS. We want to be there to support the second or wherever the case may be. But now it's not a good time to be gathering in large groups and to view our political or philosophical opinions, man. Just stay safe. Yeah.
I agree with that.
That's the most relaxed I've seen you.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to
know.
stay safe, brother.
I mean, the vein that normally comes down on the forehead didn't even pop up.
Yeah, man.
Let's get him fired up. Let's get him spun up here real quick.
Yeah, that's the Minuteman, man. Stay safe, people. Stay safe.
Absolutely. And I wore the shirt just for him today.
Yeah, we're big supporters of law enforcement here. You know?
Yeah, a lot of our customers are cops. They're good guys,
Yep.
and definitely don't deserve the shit that they're being drugged through.
Amen.
You know, with everything that's happened in the last several months, it's hard to for some people to swallow that they are just people and they want to get home to their families too. And there's a lot of people don't understand when you're trying to make a decision in a fraction of a second what can go wrong, you know. And they are human, they're not robotic, you know. And
That is, I mean, it's you know, my wife's in law enforcement. So, you know, I always naturally worry about her on any normal day. But now with all this chaos and stuff going on, I worry about her even more. You know, I worry about her, and I worry about any law enforcement officer out there doing what they can to protect Americans. You know, and it just is what it is, and it's a super scary time right now, and it's, you know, we're making villains out of our heroes.
yeah,
And it's
and
something that
making
we've
heroes
gotta
out of
end.
villains.
Right, and it's something. It's got to end. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's America. I mean,
Right.
I know I probably won't be able to talk on the subject as much as Frank could, or as well as Frank could, but you know, I was raised with, you know, God, country, family,
Amen.
and that's it. You know,
Yeah.
and then as soon as you start to take that stuff away from it, you start to weaken the foundation of what we're built on, and we got to build that foundation back up again. You know, we got to let's make heroes out of our heroes and villains
Right.
out of our villains.
Yeah.
It's okay to do that.
Yep.
Exactly.
Good words, man.
All right. Well, we are going to wrap this one up. It's good to be back. It's been way too long. So, season 2, episode 2 is coming up here shortly. And Joe, you took out the new Glock P80.
The Glock P80, yep. The retro version of the first Glock.
The
that
pre
was
pre 17,
pre 17, yep.
pre G17,
Mm-hmm.
sub PCC.
Yep. Yes.
So that will be the focus on episode 2. And for my co-host, Big Joe, Johnny Phoenix, Clint, we appreciate you.
Thanks, Clint, for
coming
dropping by,
out,
brother.
For sure.
No, thanks for letting us be
Did
here.
a fabulous job.
We're really happy to be here.
Sorry we didn't have donuts for you.
I expect donuts next time. Yes.
Dude, your wife's a cop. You can't eat donuts.
Not around her. Yeah.
All right. We're out.
All right.
See ya.
You can fail and get knocked on your ass in this country. Pick yourself up and still push forward and make something happen.